Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be looking at a tank that was once a thing. A tank that was once very, very overpowered. It was the first of its kind. We never see anything like this tank before when this tank was released. Of course, we are talking about the Helsing. Now, when the Helsing first came out, honestly, everyone was so hyped for this tank because it was different. It was a double shotgun. We hadn't seen anything like this in the game at all. So, you know, people didn't know what to expect with the tank. Of course, it was released with the Dracula as well, which some of us know was kind of overpowered. But at the time, this was more overpowered than most tanks in the game. It was insane. Honestly, it was so good. It's a tank destroyer, but you do not play it like a tank destroyer. You play it more like a medium tank. It was insane. Now, once upon a time, it didn't have any other camo than the original. So you remove this camo and you had this this camouflage right here. And then over time, Wargaming did add another camouflage into the game, the Raven. And I think this tank looks absolutely brilliant with this camo. So the Helsing. Now, we're going to look through the stats and then talk about why it's really not a thing anymore. So as you can see, the mechanic, it has a double shot. So basically fires 2 shells in 1 shot in quick succession. So basically what that is a bang bang. That's it. And 2 shells come out of your gun. If you're lucky enough, you may penetrate with both shells, but most of the time nowadays you may only penetrate 1 shell. So you don't have much armor. Now again, when this was first released, it actually had pretty decent armor. People really didn't know how to deal with it as such. Never the best, but it was okay. It was pretty decent. Now, your DPM is at 2,580 for a tier 7. That's not bad, to be fair. Not bad at all. So your magazine reload is 9.05 seconds, and the shell reload time is 0.25. So as I've said, it is basically a bang bang. Both shells done and your magazine's reloading. So it's not really, even though it's classed as an auto loader, it's not really. It's not really an auto loader. You fire, you reload, you fire, you reload. So but because it is a double shell, it's still classed as an auto loader. So you've got 1 shot per magazine, but 2 shells in per shot per magazine. Your penetration is 184 on your AP, 231 on your APCR, 49 on your HE. So again, you can struggle when you come up against tier 8 heavies, but it's more definitely a top tier tank. So when you come up against tier 6s, you can, even to now, you can still be brutal and it can still be a very dangerous tank. Your damage is 200 per shot, so you could do 400 per magazine, basically. So it is basically 400 per shot if both of your shells penetrate. And you 170 on your, if you're using your APCR, 300 on your HE. So again, you come up against a Borzik or anything like that, you can do 600 damage per double shot as such. Your aim time is 3.5, which is nothing to write home about. However, your gun dispersion is actually really good for your first shell at 0.278. Now, of course, your second shell that comes out is not that, but your first shell is that. Now, you have 6 degrees of gun depression, which, yeah, okay, isn't that great. And you do have a 60 kilometers an hour speed, which is actually really nice. So we're just going to get into a quick game, nothing special, whilst we talk about the tank in more detail. So the tank, as I've said, it was once overpowered. Nowadays, you very rarely see it. Actually, in fact, not many people play this tank. And there is a reason for that. Of course, it isn't as good as it used to be. But I think it will be as good as it used to be if it wasn't for one reason and one reason alone. And does anyone know what that reason is? The Annihilator. Now, that really baffled us. When Wargaming released the Annihilator, everyone was baffled because this tank was so OP at having the double shotgun when it was first released. Wargaming upped it a notch. You know, yeah, 2 shots isn't enough. Let's release the Annihilator that has 3 shots, and that then become one of the most broken tanks in tier 7, along with the Smasher. This tank then got pushed back. It got pushed back, and nobody wanted to play this tank because they had the Annihilator, which was better in every single way. It had 3 shells. It had an extra speed boost. It had that special speed boost. It had better armor. It done more damage. It was just more dangerous in every way than the Helsing ever was. Like, if you first played the Helsing when it was first released, it was like, wow, this tank's insane. And you double that with the Annihilator. Honestly, it was so broken. It still is to this day. It still is insane. Not as broken now because people learn how to deal with tanks. So even though tanks don't get nerfed as such from when they were OP, the same as this, it's not really been nerfed, but it's just not broken now because people learn how to deal with it, and it just gets, back. It gets pushed back, so it's not special anymore, and that's exactly what this tank is. Power creep, that's basically what it is. It's power creep. Better tanks come out, and I say better players, but people learn how to deal with these tanks. And the fact, because of the Annihilator, the Helsing's just never played anymore. It really is hardly ever played because no one wants to. I mean, I haven't really played this tank since the introduction of the Annihilator. Why? Because I don't need to. I've got an Annihilator, so why would I? Why would I want to go and play this when I can play a 3-shot double barrel, well, a triple barrel shot, and a much better tank? There's no reason at all for me to play the Helsing. So let me know what you think. Do you still play the Helsing? What do you think of the Helsing? Is it a tank that you like? Is it a tank that you loved? And the reason, if you don't play anymore, let me know in the comments below. But just a couple of tanks left over, and where I was saying about sometimes you only hit 1 shot, that there was a classic example of that. There are going to be a lot of times that you can't hit both of your shells. Again, 317 where you should be doing over 400 or near about 400, but yeah, that wasn't, unfortunately that wasn't to be. But just 1 tank left alive. The SU is about to die. We've still managed to do 2,800 damage, which, nowadays is okay for this tank. But as I said, let me know what you think of the Helsing. Do you still own it, and do you still play it? Because one thing for sure, if this wasn't a premium tank and it was made a collectible tank, I for sure would have definitely sold it for that gold. But let me know what you think in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.